Plasterer.
Good evening. I doubt if I turn my camera on, wouldn't it? There with. I always forget something. I know the button's here somewhere. Oh dear. Aha. Hello. Oh, hang on. That's better. Good evening and welcome to
Off the Plasterer.
with me, Eric the Plasterer. Yay! How is everybody? It's February, guys and girls. Already, slowly, the days are getting longer and warmer. Here comes the spring. Right, I do like the spring. Winter out the way. Christmas is lovely, but that's long gone now. January's already gone. I paid my tax bill, so I'm absolutely skint. I hope you guys have paid yours as well. Ah dear. Roll on springtime and summer. Roll on springtime and summer. Today I don't know where it is where you live, but lunchtime I sat out in the sun with a cup of coffee, and it was warm. I sat in a little kind of deck chair. And thought, this is a bit strange considering it was like ice on my car in the morning. So I don't know what that was all about. But hey ho. You're good. I thought I'd forgotten to turn my mic on there for a minute as well as my camera. Ah dear. Shall we hop straight over to the pub? Yeah, why not? Ooh, that's better. Welcome to the Old Hawk and Trowel Community Boozer. Not just for plasterers, but mostly. For time-served spreads and for DIYers and for complete newbies, this is the plastering community, or part of it. Part of a large collaboration that's going on and growing between Trowel Talk, myself, Art and Plasterer, a lot of the guys that you all know if you follow on their channels, just a few of which are sprinkling. You can see here we've got Alex, we've got Joel, we've got we've got Kirk, a new rising star. If you don't know about Kirk, you haven't seen his channel yet, just look for on the Trowel. Yeah, you'll see it anyway, whatever happens. Anthony Parry, I've got Stu's there, Pete. Anyway, yeah. Right. Oh, so hello, young Eric. Oh, hello, young Silver. How are you, mate? James, evening. Chris, legit longest wait of my evening. Oh, sorry, mate. The longest. Oh, I've lost it. The longest wait. Hang on. Let me put me chat box up over here as well. How's it all going? Work's still very quiet. Johnny, my work had picked up. I've been fairly busy just lately. The phone's not going crazy, but currently ticking over, I'm pleased to say, because up to a few weeks back, mate, I had absolutely nothing coming in whatsoever. But it seems to be on the mend, and now we're getting into a little bit more into the year. I like January to be out of the way and see what's happening. Sorry, Chris, it's okay, man. I was watching the countdown. Oh, sorry, mate. It is a bit of a, well, it's a 5-minute countdown. It gives people a chance to either go, oh yeah, great, like got plenty of time to be ready for it. I didn't notice on Facebook as opposed to YouTube when I started the countdown. 7 people popped up straight away on Facebook compared to just a few on YouTube. It's normally the other way around. But I think that 2 minutes in they disappeared. Down to about 3, so I don't know what happened there. It's a couple of minutes in this day and age is too long to wait for a countdown. But sometimes I try and cut it off when it goes out as a video, because I don't know, people click on it to watch it as a video and they've got a 4-minute timer. I mean, most people know how to jump through the timer, but then sometimes when they jump the timer, they miss a really great bit at the beginning. See, but you know, what can you do? What can you do? It's just the ups and downs of being a YouTuber. Ah dear. Chris, what's the purpose of this, by the way? Just so I don't meant something really irrelevant. It's Ask the Plasterer, mate. It initially started off, and still in its substance is a channel where anyone can ring up, because there's a phone number in the studio as well. People can call and talk to me live, so everyone else can hear as well. And we can ask any plastering related questions, whether you're a time-served tradesman, whether you're a DIYer, new to the game, or thinking about getting into it. You can ring up and ask me. Because I've been plastering for 38 years, which is a bit too long, but hey ho. And now if I get stuck, I'll just pass people on to Kirk and say if I don't know it, I'm pretty sure he will. 60 seconds for Facebook. I recommend 60 seconds. Most people get the notification and then come in, and if you're not live, they leave and don't come back. I did it myself. It's a pain. I'm a couple of times in the past I've just jumped straight in without any kind of countdown, which I might do. It's just nice to see some numbers building up of people that are going to be watching when you start, as opposed to jumping in cold and talking for at least 5 minutes before anybody starts watching. But next time, 2 weeks time, when this is on again, I'll try that, Chris, and I'll completely jump the countdown, and I'll just get straight into it at 7 o'clock, if I remember. Evening, Danny. Whee, how are you, mate? Very well, I hope. Cheers. I hope everyone's got themselves nice and comfortable, got yourselves a drink. I've got me pretend beer. I'll tell you, when we go to Edinburgh and we're drinking real beer, just don't leave me on the floor in the pub anywhere. Thank you. I'm not a big drinker. I like a drink and I like a laugh, but man, I've never been able to hold my booze. Yeah, 3 pints, mate, and I'm kind of staggering a bit out the door. So, oh dear. Chris, okay, I'm new to the game. Got the basics down, but now I want to go solo. What do you recommend for growing a business? Extra exposure, getting business rolling, so you can get on my spread journey. So, at the minute, Chris, what are you doing? Are you spreading? Were you doing something completely different, and you're getting into spreading, or have you been spreading a while for someone else, and you want to go it on your own? I see you put solo, but I don't know if how long you've been like on the trail, basically. There you go, Kirk. There's one for free. What I will recommend to you, Chris, because I'm assuming you're on the old Trail Talk group. There's something I'm going to bring up in a little while to do with a new podcast, Trail Talk Plasterers podcast that Stuart's organising. So I'll fill in on that, and that will cover all that kind of stuff. All good, matey. Oh, well done, Danny. Nice to be here, mate. Nice to be here. Make sure I haven't missed anybody out. I'll get told off when I miss people's questions. Right. Cheers. Worked for damp proofing company during the week and not been on the trail huge amount of time, but want to get on it a lot more than I am. Yeah, mate, I'm assuming that you've probably done some evening, Martin, done some weekend jobs and what have you. But regarding starting off, there are so many different aspects of how you can get into spreading without dropping yourself in it. Definitely the best bet, mate, will be to get involved. I'm going to promote these podcasts, and you'll get the drift of of what's what and what different people can tell you on Trowel Talk. Regard starting off. Sure, mate, Danny. How are you? Much on? No, not that busy at the minute, mate. Just ticking over. A big set on today. 5 bags over 2 coats with my apprentice. How have you got an apprentice, mate? It's, you know, you can get twice as much muck on, even if they're a bit slow. Just to get, it's just, if you've got someone to help you get it on the wall. And after that, man, troweling up's a doddle, especially with speed skims now and all that malarkey. Just got the reveals tomorrow and upstairs. It's finally finished, thank God. Yeah, I love the reveals. On some jobs, if I'm whack on a ceiling and I've got gear left over and there's reveals to do, I tend to stick them on at the same time. So ceiling's done, reveals are all done, and then it's just a case of whacking on the walls, which is a lovely way of doing it. I ain't doing all the big stuff and having to drop back to do any reveals. Right, as a lot of you know, hang on, we have 93, or it might be 92 now, days until our Edinburgh meet-up, where quite a few of these guys are going to be there. A few of us have already booked in. Hang on. Right, sorry, this is just some of the pubs that are available to us when we hit Edinburgh on the 10th of May, or a few of us are getting there on the 9th of May. A few of us are already booked in for cheapness to a hostel in Edinburgh, St Christians. I know I forget the name of it, but there are links within the Trowel Talk community about how to get on there if you fancied that idea. These are some pictures coming up here of the hostel. Again, like any hostel, it's like beds, bunk beds, rooms. You can, oh lovely, look. You can get what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, you can get ordinary rooms in hostels, and they're a bit more money. But what we're doing, because of this, trying to keep the cost down for a lot of people, because you can blow quite a lot of money getting up to Edinburgh unless you live there or near there. And myself, I'm in London. A lot of the guys are again nowhere near Edinburgh, and I was going to take a train up, but I found out that that's just too expensive nowadays. And if if you booked a proper hotel or even a Premier Inn on a nightly basis, it could get quite expensive for 3 or 4 days with your mates. But the meet-up should be absolutely amazing. Edinburgh is a lovely town for anyone that's never been before. The atmosphere is fantastic, and yeah, it'd just be great for the spreads to meet up. A lot of us know each other, either from here, from Trowel Talk, again, mostly from Trowel Talk and from here, and via our channels that we've got with each other. So, but if you haven't booked to come along already, look into it, because even Mike, you finished work then, mate, or you tuning in from your job? Mike, my old mate Mike Smiler Smart. I'm pretty sure he posts a post every day, including Saturdays and Sundays, to show you what job he's doing. He doesn't believe in having any time off or resting for some reason, but he must be absolutely loaded. I got a car you might want to buy, Mike, if you fancy a bit of a midlife crisis jobby. Danny, I prefer to get the majority done first myself. Nice and easy day tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what it's like when you first start out messing. Oh, there you go. Messing about with too much, yeah. To just bang it on. Just bang it all on now. Just bang on what you can, mate. Just bang on what you can. Well, I did a big ceiling on. Well, I prepped it all Thursday and I did it on Friday, and it was hard for me. Thank God for extra time is all I can say. It was low at one end, but it was one of those real angled ones that went up higher than I would want to go up my stilts. So yeah, half of it I did on my stilts, and the other half I was doing off the top of my steps. And you put my old speed skim on a pole, on the tool part for ruling off, which was a lot easier. Though I do prefer using the speed skin with my hands up there on my stilts, because you can get a nice even pressure rather than having that hole in the middle. It takes quite a bit of getting used to, depending how long your speed skin is as well. Saturday looks nice, mine, but don't make can't wait roll on May. Yeah, I can't wait, mate. Hang on, let's get rid of that now. All the years I've been doing this now, oh, it's been at least a couple, isn't it? So I've there we go. And I still takes me ages to find where all the buttons are, not just the one to turn it off when we're finished. Hey, evening, Stu. Nope. Right, I think Stu's just come along at the right time, because here I wanted to bring this up. Hang on. It's the Trowel, the Plastering podcast. Now, if you haven't heard of this before, it's because it didn't exist before, but it does now. Right, hang on. Get me right. That's it. Right, here we go. Plastering podcast, episode 1 will start this Friday of this week, and for some reason that I don't understand, we're doing it at 6:30 in the morning, which I suppose it's good to get these things out of the way nice and early. It's been produced by Fall Out of Bed Productions, along with Stuart, and what we got? Yeah, this first one on Friday. It's going to be basically because we're all going to be on there at the same time, or the 6 of us anyway, discussing about starting a YouTube channel to do with your plastering and what have you. It's more detailed than that. I'll let Stuart explain it to you if I can. I don't know if this is going to work, guys, but let me just see if I can get this to go. Hang on.
We'll keep it good. I want to give you the heads up for Friday, 6:30 a.m. on Friday. There's going to be a bit of a podcast party. So we're launching episode 1 of the Plastering podcast, and there's a few of us jumping on all at once. So it's going to be a busy screen. It's going to be a bit crazy. Myself, Joel Cook, Alex Morley, Anthony Parry, Eric DeValmency, and Kirk Johnstone. I forgot his name for a second there. Kirk Johnstone is coming on. His channel's blowing up at the minute. So this topic is going to be all about YouTube. Now, I thought this would be good because when I was low on work, video marketing, especially this year, video marketing has really helped me to generate leads. And given that this year might throw us a couple of curveballs, as I've mentioned before, I thought it'd be good if we all get together, all of us that have got channels, or a lot of us that have got channels, if we all get together, pass down some knowledge to you guys, the people that might be looking to start a channel this year, but maybe a bit unsure, a bit nervous about it and not sure how to go about it. This podcast is going to be for you, basically. So it's going to be sort of how to start a channel, how to get going, what apps you need, software, how to shoot videos, what sort of money can you expect to earn from YouTube, from ad revenue, things like that. So any questions that you've got around YouTube, any questions that you've got for any of the speakers individually, or if you've got someone in particular that you want to ask a question to, smash in the comments either here or on the events post that I put up earlier today, and I'll take a note of those questions, guys, and I'll ask the lads when we're on screen. Now, I've never done anything like this where there's so many of us all together at once, so we're just going to run it off the cuff and we're going to see how it goes. And bear with us if it goes on a bit longer than planned, because obviously there's going to be 6 of us guys on this podcast at once. So again, any questions that you've got regarding YouTube, if you want to start a channel, if you've got any questions in regards to anything to do with YouTube at all, now's the time to get the advice that you're looking for from plasterers that are running YouTube channels. going to be Friday, 6:30 a.m. I know it's early, so if you can't be up to watch it, I appreciate that. But we're all on the tools, guys, and we're all busy boys, so it's the best time of day for everyone involved and to sort of get us all together at the same time. But the post will be saved on the group. And also, I will be saving it in the guides section with all the other interviews and video chats that I've done on there, and it'll also be on the YouTube channel at some point as well. So if you miss it, then it will still be there. You can watch it at any time, but it would be awesome if a lot of you could be there with us live in the morning, and that way you can interact with us, you can ask us questions, and we can answer any queries that you've got live, and you can interact and get involved. So anyway, listen, I hope you can be there Friday 6:30 a.m. and it's going to be Joel Cook, Eric, Alex, so that's write the names down, there's so many of us coming on, and Anthony Parry, myself and Kirk Johnstone. Hope to see you there. Have a good one. We'll see you Friday.
Cheers, Stu. Cheers, mate. Also, for future reference, what topics would you like to see discussed on that group? I mean, that's the one we're starting with on Friday, but yeah, any of your comments, get them down. Either get them to me here, or get them on Trowel Talk to Stu, or on the group that's set up for that. Lovely. All right, hang on. Hey, here we go. Right, sorry, earlier, Martin, Drew, if you're still there, mate. Price-wise, I've got 4 nights at the St Christopher's Hostel in Edinburgh, Old Town, with a couple of the other guys, and that was 4 nights for about £96 for me. 4 nights. If you book it directly with them as well, you get free breakfast for those 4 mornings. No worries, Stu. Cheers, mate. Yeah. So yeah, and then flight wise, you can get flights advertised at about 30-40 quid. But you need to take into account when you're running through the booking the flight, that's 20 or 30 quid. But it's how big a bag do you want to take with you? That's a bit more. Do you want to come back home again afterwards? And so it's probably nearing the 100 quid mark on the flights, I think, unless you literally go in the clothes you're standing up in and only use the outside toilets. But the flight is the cheapest way to get up there. As I was looking at trains, but you're talking about hundreds of pounds to get up there. And taking into account once you're there, you will be spending a little bit of money. If, like a lot of the guys, you're staying for 3 or 4 days, or maybe a little bit longer, then obviously that will cost money and eating up there and whatever. But so a lot of us are opting for a hostel, and if we all go to the ones that are, if we all go to the same one, that'll be then we can kind of not fall out of the pub. We can walk back to the place together, and it's literally around the back of Princes Street, so we're right in the main centre of town, which is where we want to be. So yeah, about 90 odd quid for the hostel for 4 nights, and yeah, flights. If you look up, it was EasyJet for me. You can go from Gatwick, you can go from Stansted, you can go from wherever the other ones are. There seems to be plenty of flights, so yeah, so it can be done reasonably cheap. Otherwise, quite a few of us probably wouldn't be going. And that's if you've got a missus, if she lets you go. A few of the guys I think might be taking their wives with them. They might have to leave the pub at 9:30, but that doesn't spoil it for the rest. I'm only kidding. But no, it should be great. It should be great. Richard, evening. Eric, I bought myself a Rafina Plaziflex. Was using for the last dry trowel after using my ox. Pucker, mate, yeah? Yeah, nice one. Nice one. I might have to get myself one, mate. I keep talking about getting myself some decent trowels and some other trowels, even just to try out, so I can have a chat about them. But when work goes a bit quiet, the last thing I want to do is spend money on tools. As much as I love having tools. Oh, I like electric. I like the kind of tools that I don't really need for plastering, like the old big old mitre saws and all that kind of stuff, which I hardly ever use, but they're nice to have. Nail gun, oh, that's fantastic as well. Evening, Alexander, if you're still there. So no work clothes then. What in Edinburgh, mate? Was that? Have I But no, it should be. We're going to have a good crack in Edinburgh, as I say. It's coming. It seems to be coming around a lot quicker now. It seemed like a lot further away not that long ago. A bit like life and how quick that passes you by. It's a bit like that. It's a bit like that. Anyone who is watching that's about 30 in your age-wise, here's a little tip for you. Enjoy yourself, because 60 comes around like lightning. Because I feel like I was only 30 about 10 years ago at the most, but it was about 30 years ago. So yeah, and it's only when you reach it you go, flipping hell. I'm past the halfway mark, and your ambition wanes a little bit as well, I have to say, at that point. Not for everybody, but hey. I think old Colonel Sanders didn't start his chicken shop till he was about 65, so I've been told. James, I've just applied to join. I think you could join the army then. I've just applied to join the Trowel Talk page at last on Facebook. I hope I make the cut. Well, mate, you just have to, put your name down and see what happens. I'll put a good word in for you. But yeah, you need to be on Trowel Talk, mate. That's where all the best spreads are on there. You don't get. Oh, well, what can I say? Basically, all these guys are on Trowel Talk. And it's just a fantastic community, and that's another reason for it's called Ask the Plasterer. And obviously people can ask questions still, whoever they are, even customers. But it's become more of a community boozer, as I've liked to name it, the old Hook and Trout. So the guys within that group and within our massive collaboration, if you like, can meet in this boozer. Just for a chat and to catch up on stuff, and well, yeah, anything else. We were saying earlier in the group that there doesn't seem to be a lot of other Facebook groups like similar to Trowel Talk that collaborate on a large scale, where all the guys kind of get on, or the guys that are running channels get on and help each other out and collaborate with each other. And as far as I know, there's no other trade pages out there where there's bigger ones, but there's no, the collaboration thing's not going on. But we want to put spreading back where it belongs, at the top of the pile. So that's what we endeavour to do at Trowel Talk, at Ask the Plasterer, and amongst us channels. So yeah, get involved, guys, and this is where to go. Danny, that'll be me then, only 32. Yeah, Danny, I tell you, mate, just it's when you're like, when I was younger, you kind of think, it's my life's, it's not something you think about. You just, life stretches out way ahead of you, and then you go, oh yeah, I'm nearly 30 and all that stuff, which you probably did, mate, and kind of panic about it. And then it's when it didn't seem, literally like 5 minutes ago, when I was like, well, yeah, 30, 35, wow, 35, getting old. And then suddenly, you're 60, well, I'm 60, and that, I tell you, it didn't feel like another 30 years, mate. It felt like about 5 or 6. And yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, get ambitious, get in there. I know you're ambitious anyway, Danny. And just crack it, mate. Just go for it, and enjoy, make the most of it every day. Live for the moment, as they say, which is easier said than done. But don't forget to plan to pay your tax bill and all that kind of stuff. Dear. Cheers. Right. So yeah, don't forget, guys and girls, this Friday, 6:30 a.m. you can listen to us and partake, because I'm sure you're going to be raring to go just as we are in the morning. And yeah, let's get on with that podcast. When Stuart first asked me, I thought he said 6:30 in the evening, so I was well up for it. Dear. And then I realised it was 6:30 in the morning. But yeah, I'm still up for it. What the heck, I'm going to be up anyway. So why not? Why not? Whether I'll be as quite as smiley and jolly, I don't know. I definitely won't be having any drink in my hand. Dear. Right. Good evening. If you have just joined us and you've not been here before, I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer. This is the Olde and Trowel Community Boozer. It's available. There's a community here of a lot of time-served spreads, a lot of newbies, DIYers, some customers. I think they just like to watch and take their pick of this conglomerate of fantastic plasterers that we've got. And yeah, you can come here and ask any kind of questions of me or any of the other guys or girls, and hopefully get the answers you're looking for. There is a phone number in, but generally people only ring in if they're not watching this on their phone or they're watching it on the telly box, which is nice because that makes a bit of a change now and again to listen to another voice other than mine. But yeah. Oh, Danny, sorry, I've actually been thinking about it a lot, mate, to be fair, recently. Got to make the most of it, mate. Only get one life as far as we know. Oh, pardon me. As far as we know, mate, on the definite front, yeah. So yeah, you got to go for it. And I've never been much of a risk taker, and I'm not suggesting that people should take big risks when it comes to business and stuff like that. But if you don't take any risks in your life, yeah, I don't know how far you'll get in business. Dear. If you are watching this on the telly box, or you do want to call, this is the number you want up here. 07516 214 983, 07516 214 983, and yeah, have a chat to me in the pub. Sure, you know you want to. Oh, yep, Alex Morley will be getting out of bed. Nice and early Friday as well. Joel. Kirk, I think, like myself, he might have struggled, well, not struggle to get up for work, but struggle to get up and do a podcast at 6:30 in the morning. But he's committed now, so we should all be there. And it should be the start of something really good. Looking forward to that. I tried for the old... not just for me and Kirk, but for just in general, I tried to get some of the women's football up on the telly, but it's really hard to find. Women's football that you can broadcast without getting into trouble on YouTube. James, I ordered the light from Trout Talk's amazing page. It is an amazing page, mate. I've just ordered from there today some mesh, some plastering mesh. It arrives Wednesday, so I'll be reviewing it next week, hopefully. Nice one, mate. Nice one. Go for it. Evening, Chris. Didn't see you there earlier, mate. Are you thinking of coming out to Edinburgh with us, Chris? In May? I can't remember whereabouts you live, mate. You dares, Rodders. Yeah. Exactly, Daddy. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. Right, we normally go on till about 8:30, but that depends purely how we go. Hang on, someone's trying to get in the pub. Nobody there. Right. We're having a bit of an early lock-in. If you've just joined us, and I'm Eric the Plasterer, this is Ask the Plasterer. Feel free, don't be shy, to put your comments up here, ring up, have a chat with us on the phone. You should get used to it. As we'll discuss on Friday when it comes to YouTube channels and stuff, it does take a while to get used to talking to a camera and feeling comfortable with it. I'm fairly comfortable with it, apart from the fact that I have a continuous nervous laugh. At least I think that's what it is. It is the way. Yeah, you cope in different ways, and you do get used to it, and it does become easier. But on my channel, there is actually a video. I think it's the first, because I wasn't comfortable at all in front of even a phone camera, and I watched something on there that said, "Oh, get on there and just turn your camera on and start talking to it," and you feel such a plonker. Well, I did anyway, and I did that, and I thought, oh, it didn't seem too bad, and I posted it. It's only short, but it's me in my garage talking about I think what makes a good plasterer. It's not very good, but to give you an idea of wow, man, yeah, just how unconfident I was. Evening, Lindsay Lou. Yeah, that big ceiling went really well. Got a £55 tip as it goes. What a lovely customer. It's my kind of customer. And it was a big ceiling. It was quite an expensive ceiling, but they obviously realised it was worth even more. So yeah, I was very pleased how it came out, baby. So yeah, no, it was good. It's good. I'm just pleased it's done. It was in the back of my head because I haven't done a big ceiling, an awkward big ceiling in a posh old house for quite a while. So, woohoo indeed, my dear. Woohoo indeed. Oh dear. And then I'm working tomorrow, and then I'm back over my other daughter's, over Sarah's place, maybe on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, something like that. No, anywho. Richard, what was your process, Eric, on your big ceiling? When I went to look at it, the thing that perturbed me slightly was that the guys that they were using 8 foot by 4 foot in old money boards on the ceiling, but they weren't spanning the joists, they were running with the joists. Now, technically, you should span joists with plasterboards. You shouldn't run along with the boards. When the guys were still finishing it off, when I went to look at it, and I said, "Is there any reason you didn't span the joists?" He just looked at me. There's a couple of young guys and some quite a bit older guys as well that looked like they should be experienced. I went, "Oh yeah, no, that's the way we have to do it." He said, "Because the boards we've already got the boards, the right amount of boards and the way they're cut." And I said, "What these?" He said, "They're on the plans." I said, "What? You bought these boards and on your plans it tells you to do them this way?" And I'm kind of like, yeah. So, and it gave me a bit of a dirty look, but we left it at that. Then the job was put off slightly due to the fact after they had gone and I had finished it, the customer rang me up and said that his roof was leaking. This is the new roof to which they've just boarded, and so he had to put me back a couple of days and I'd get the builders back in. These are the same guys to fix whatever this leak was in this brand new roof. But anyway, cut long story short, went there prep wise because the boards, they were slightly offset where the lengths butted up with each other, but there was a couple of big gaps, a few bits, there was little steps in the boards which wasn't great, What I tend to do is I've bonded all those out. Also, I had that classic great big gap around all the walls of this large kitchen to bond in. So I bonded those in. I bonded over there was tapered edge boards as well. So I put all my scrims in. I went over the top of all of those with bonding just to lose the taper, because I normally always use square edge balls for my own stuff, as the taper just takes up more finish. So I fill all those with bonding first. All my beads, because there were 2 skylights in there, all my beads, I stick all those up with mitre glue and accelerator spray, because it goes off in about 5 seconds. So that's nice and quick. I bond those out as well to get them on the flat side of the ceiling anyway, so I get that nice and flat. So the whole underside, there's no bumps or undulations in it, because I've bonded everything flat that might be slightly off a kilter. Then, as I say, and by the time I'd done around the walls as well, that was the end of that day. But it was a long old day, because I had loads of plastic to put up to protect it from the rest of the rather large kitchen to stop any dust going through. And then the following day, I covered all the bonding with neat PVA, which is what I always do, and then I skimmed the lower angle part with the skylights in on my stilts, because I could reach that quite comfortable, and on a couple of the reveals in each large skylight. Finish that bit off. I put a joint in it. Sometimes I blend, sometimes I do a straight butted joint, and this start to trim it off. So where my joint was going to be, on my own, it's such a big ceiling, there's no way I could have not put the whole lot on in one hit. And the fact that the higher part I couldn't reach on stilts, so I had to do that off some steps and use my speed skim on a pole to make it easier to try that bit off. And so I trimmed off my edge that I'd finished on the fresh one, and then I knocked up my second batch, laid on the second part, because you want to do that if you're going to do it. If you're going to have to do a joint, you want to do it while it's wet, or while it's still very dark. You don't want to leave it till the next day, or half a day later to butt up have a joint in the ceiling. So I trimmed that off, did that, butted up, keep it nice and clean. So you get a really nice edge. Don't put any PVA or anything on the side that you finished first, because that just causes you issues. And and it all went very swimmingly, and I managed to get most of the plaster around the edge. Well, actually, I did get it all around the edge with the same set that I was using for the second half of the ceiling. I did use extra time in the ceiling stuff, just to give me that extra time, because I don't want to be sweating if I don't have to, even in the winter. I hope that did answer your question, mate. Cheers. And the guy, apart from giving me a 50-60 quid tip, left me a lovely review on my Google business, which is nice. I did Google the fella's name, and there's 2 or 3 guys with the same name. The first one that came up is the MD of Google in the UK, Global Services. Not 100% sure whether it was him or not, but it was a lovely house. I'm hoping he'll accept my request on LinkedIn, because if it was him, then if he accepts me as a plasterer in his links on LinkedIn, then I'm sure a lot of his other people that he works with might think, oh, he must be a good plasterer if he's worked for the boss. So, but we shall see. We shall see. Oh dear. How are we doing for time? 7:44. Okay, cool. Stuart, how are you getting on with Google Business Profile, Eric, and what other marketing do you do? That, since I had a chat with you about that, mate, and I updated everything, and I know, and now I know that you can send people the link for them to leave you reviews on it. Yeah, I've been getting work coming in from that. I also did recently. I did a mail shop. I've never done it before. I checked up on all my old customers, and I had about 400 email addresses. So I sent them all. I sent them all an email, basically saying that I wanted to try and book in as much of my work as I could right through the year, so that they would be able to, like, in advance, which is a bit risky with materials, but you've got to allow some kind of leeway there for that. But it's saying that if people wanted something specific doing, maybe not for another 6 months time, I'd look the job up for them, give them a price on it or an estimate on it, and book them in for that date in 6 months time, because there's nothing I'd love more than to be able to book my whole year up, rather than getting gluts and peaks and troughs, which does tend to happen quite a lot, Stu, or it does, or has for me over the years. Where's the old feast or famine thing? 1 minute you're a little bit quiet, the next minute you've got so much work coming in, you're losing jobs because you can't get to them quick enough, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, I'd like to have that every day of the year. And again, you can also say to the customer, if you book me in for a job you want doing in 6 months' time, you're more or less guaranteed that I'll be available on that date, rather than leaving it till nearer the time and you can't get hold of a plasterer. More importantly, you can't get hold of me to do it. And for anyone out there that is starting out, and I suppose it's fairly obvious really, once you do one good job for a customer and they're happy with it, then basically they're going to come back to you, because it's that, when you know the quality of somebody's work, you're happy with that, what they've charged you, what the quality of their work is like, how clean and tidy they've left your place, then next time they want a plastering job, they just get you back in, And I had in the past people saying to me, oh Eric, I want you to come back and do this for me. I would say just book it in, and I know roughly what you're going to quote me or whatever, and which I found flattering, but made me a bit nervous on jobs, and if I couldn't do it for a few months, they would be kind of like, look, we'll wait. And I tell you, that's what you want from a customer. They say that they want you to do the work, and they're prepared to wait, and they're prepared to pay you whatever you want to quote them, which is lovely. So look after your customers, do a great job, and keep the flipping place clean as a whistle. Any good plasterer will tell you that if you can, leave that room, whatever room it is, cleaner than when you went in it, because people realise that when you're done, especially if it was a bit messy before you started, and you kind of like giving the floor a little wash. And I've been known to even give people's windows a quick clean with some soapy water and some newspaper. For this, if you don't know this, newspaper scrumbles up. If you wash a window, it doesn't matter if it's your car window, house windows, scrunch up some newspaper, and there's no lint and there's no bits in it, and it absolutely dries squeaky clean, and it looks beautiful. And you wouldn't think you could do that with newspaper. So if you've never done that before, when you're washing any kind of window, when I do my windows on my car, I always do that. I wash them and I'll just dry them with scrunched up newspaper. If you haven't done it before, you'll be amazed. Just chuck that one in. Give it a go if you've never done it. House windows as well, if Mrs. wants you to clean your windows. Stu, brilliant idea booking up in advance, mate. I've had a few leads off TikTok, of all places. I'm on TikTok, mate, but most of the stuff I put on the TikTok, it's got nothing to do with plastering, even though it's under a kind of plastering banner. I think it's because I just got, my Instagram is more like plastering related, and my Facebook page. But But yeah, I mean, TikTok, as you say, you know, the thought that you might get a job from TikTok, it's kind of think, oh, will I? You know, but as you say, it does happen, I suppose, mate. It does happen. And I know you said it's good to get stuff out there well, you might as well get it on all the platforms if it's not going to cause you a lot of grief to do it, and you can find the time. I think the more your name is out there and the more your work is out there, you know, the better off you're going to be. But yeah, so thanks to you, mate, and getting me to update me Google business, because I think it still had me down as Developmency Construction, because I think I used to advertise that years back. I used to do refurb stuff as well, and yeah, I think it had me at my old address, which was like I've lived at my new address for 20 odd years, so it was badly needing of updating. And I also tweaked my website so that it was all geared and linked together, as you said. And I've got a lot of retrospective reviews. A lot of my old customers have sort of said, "Oh, can you know, would you mind popping on the old Google My Business? Here's a link," and putting a retro, not retro. I can't think of the word off the top of my head. But when I did do your work last year, whatever, can you give me a little tick? 5 stars will do. And God bless them, they have done so. I'm thankful for that. For the people that remember. I mean, I think when it's like when I get asked to do, whenever the company says, "Oh, can you give us a quick review?" You kind of think, "Oh yeah, a bit busy," you know, later. But it's good. Evening, Mark. Hey, late to the party. You're very late, mate. Oh, you still in Edinburgh, Mark? There's everyone else working, slaving away, and there's you up in Edinburgh taking some pictures of where we'll be staying when we go up there. Pictures of you with a couple of pints as well. Nice. Hope your daughter's good, mate. How long are you up there for, Mark? And as me and the guys made the mistake booking that hostel, I think it'd be alright. The pictures look good. Dear. And at the end of the day, it's only somewhere to sleep, really, isn't it? So, and I'm pretty sure the weather's going to be fantastic in May, regardless of what Jamie says. That's Jamie. Oh, yeah. I can't do it. Right, if you've just joined us, this is Ask the Plasterer. I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer for 38 years. It don't seem a day too long. Oh, it does really. But I ain't got any joint issues yet, so it's all good. And I'm old. I'm 60. Wait, it's old enough. When I preferred being 30, 60's old. Trust me. But I'm starting to think now, perhaps I ain't got any joint issues because I've never worked hard enough. Oh, I did up till I was about 30 anyway. I used to do weekends and evenings and stuff. So you just grow out of it. Well, not everybody, but me in particular. Dear. Cheers. But sorry, yeah, if you are new here, you can ask any plastering related questions and I will try to answer them. A lot of the guys that come and girls that come here are regulars. There are a lot of girl plasterers, not comparatively, but in the scheme of things, there's a lot more women plasterers than there used to be, and I'm very pleased and proud to say that they're members of Ask the Plasterer and on Trowel Talk, so it's all good. And got a few of my old Ask the Plasterer sweatshirts have gone down quite well. Mark, home tomorrow, mate. You will be all good, mate. Kirk's face would be like that listening to Jamie and I. Yeah, so got a pop Kirk in there. Yeah, between you and Jamie. He probably wouldn't be able to understand what you were talking about, mate. That's fine, between the two of you. Oh dear. I see old Mark Shepherd's been having a great time. I can't remember, he's gone somewhere else very lovely for another lovely holiday. So all that extra time he must be vlogging. It's going down well. Ah dear. Mark accepted you. Oh, James, you've been accepted. Mark's one of the not adjudicator, yeah, whatever. One of the admins that says yay or nay. So, oh, thanks, Mark, for letting him in. Did you invite to Edinburgh? Yeah, you got to come along to Edinburgh, without a doubt. Oh dear. I mean, for you, Mark, Edinburgh would be kind of old hat, mate, wouldn't it, really? But of course, the excitement of having all the lads there and us actually all being able to meet each other in the flesh will be great, I think. Oh dear. Stuart, I've been thinking of YouTube questions for the podcast. Have any ideas come to mind, Eric? Hang on. What questions? Questions for the podcast. There's lots in there, mate. It's just getting them to the surface of me. But for Friday, I'm going to be making notes before Friday about specific questions to do with channels and the business as a whole and what have you. I'm not going to just ad lib like I do on Ask the Plasterer night. I'll get something down. But I don't know if any other guys have, I don't know, got any questions really. Martin, any idea how many of us are going to Edinburgh? Well, on the last time I looked, which was a little while ago, on the Trowel Talk invite page, there was 18, 19 definites, as far as a definite goes on that kind of invite. Only practically definite ones I know are definite are the ones that have already booked a hostel or somewhere to stay. So I know there'll be at least 3 or 4 of us definitely there. But I think people firm things up as it gets nearer the date. But there should be a fair few of us there, mate. Because otherwise, yeah, we want to make it the best kind of trip and meet up that we can have. So, but most of the regular guys and most of the influencers are down for definitely going. Alex Morley, he's driving for some reason. He's going to drive there. I said I think he's crazy, but it depends how much you like driving. I mean, I know people love a drive up to Scotland, and even if I love to drive up to Scotland, it's the drive back that's not so lovely. It's a lovely, lovely view and all that, but just the thought of another 9 or 10 hours in the car, yeah, don't appeal to me. I'd rather go on a sleeper train when I can afford it and enjoy the whole experience, or have Stuart, you driving as well. Okay, fair enough. What can I say? Anthony, even there, I've made the background. Yes, mate. I need to get a nicer picture of you, mate. That's the best one I could kind of grab and try and Photoshop to get you in there. But I'd love, because I didn't want you feeling left out. So yeah, I'll tell you what, mate. If you want to send me something. Yeah, I mean, if you're happy with that one, that's fine. But I'm more than happy, Anthony, for you to send me just a proper picture, not a posing picture. Well, you can be going, yeah, or cheers, or or just smiling. I've had to grab that one off of one of your thumbnails and trim it a bit. Richard, everyone should turn the vans into campers. Oh dear, yeah. I'll go down here in a corner for you. Mind you, we're also spread out in different parts of the country. I think that's why I came up with the idea of Edinburgh as opposed to like London, or I know some of the guys wanted to go to Ibiza, but come on guys, that wasn't realistic. Not for a brief jolly, and that definitely would have been expensive. Mine's like a four-wheel drive, my motor, so it wouldn't make the greatest of campers bits. Anyway, as I was saying, Alex is driving, Stuart is driving, me, Marcus, I think Danny as well, getting the plane. Jamie only lives up the road really, over near Arran, and Mark Neeson, he goes irregular to see his family, and from Ireland, it's obviously, it's a bit nearer Ireland, isn't it, than from London or Bristol or wherever. But hey, Mike, don't think my transit would make it to Edinburgh. That's the thing, mate. It's a flipping long way to drive a motor, unless you've got a motor with a really reliable engine. And let's be honest, if the motor is a bit old, then driving to Edinburgh in it will test whether or not it's reliable, and if it's not, just make sure you join the AA, the full Monty, if you're gonna drive up. Whatever motor you've got. I mean, mine conked out again last week in B&Q, and it was because of wire. It's happened before. Wire fell off the back of the starter motor, and I didn't even know whether the starter motor was in the completely opposite place to what I thought it was when I was looking for it, because I thought that might be the issue. But I had to wait hours for the flipping. Well, I went and finished off a job because I was halfway through a job. Went to B&Q to get some gear. Got in the car. Nothing at all. If you ever get nothing at all, but everything lights up nice and bright and it doesn't even click, then there's a good chance it's something to do with your starter motor. And if you're really lucky, it'd just be the wires fell off it. If you're unlucky, it's about 350 quid-ish for a new one. But it's just been wire that fell off again, and the AA man, he said he crimped it nice and tight with a pair of pliers. That shouldn't happen again. If something like that happened to me on the way to Edinburgh, in any motor, and I've only recently been starting to use the AA in the last couple of years, because I was generally a risk it man when it came to travelling long distances and hoping I didn't break down. What's that, Silver? Benidorm, not Ibiza, maybe next year. Oh God, Benidorm, mate. I did love the programme Benidorm, and when I was a kid, my mum and dad used to go somewhere very near Benidorm, and when I was a kid, I used to, and some other guys that we went with, we would go into Benidorm for the evening. You wouldn't come back till the following day, basically, and it was a good crack. But I wouldn't want to actually stay in Benidorm, if I'm honest. It's a little bit too yay. Got to be cheaper than Ibiza, though. Danny, I'm not risking my work van ever again after my last trip to Wales. Yeah, you broke down, mate, didn't you? Wales. See, Danny broke down. Just Wales. So, and you're in Bristol, Danny. Is it Bristol? Can't remember now. But Benidorm be a good crack. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you organise that, Danny, and you do one trip, and then just let us know how it went. Obviously, when we go down, not just me, but I think a lot of the guys with their own channels, guys that haven't got their own channels, we're going to do, obviously it'll be mostly the guys with their own channels, we're going to do live streaming stuff. So it'll be coming from all angles, where we are, and what we're doing. I'm going to do some live streaming with my phone, like during the trip, the airport, Gatwick, flying to Scotland, and all that malarkey. And obviously when we're out and we're all meeting up for the first time, we're going to live stream that. I'm going to live stream that. I'm pretty sure Stuart will do the same. Probably Kirk, Alex, Joel, and the rest of the guys. Because all those live streams are then go down as videos, we've gone for posterity, and we can like look at each other's and maybe put the whole lot together and into some kind of fantastic video to encourage everybody for the next time we do it, which might be, if it's really great, might be the year after. If it's not so great, might be biannual. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Stu, driving from Coventry to Newcastle, 3 hours, overnight stayed in, 2 hours, 200. Oh, that's not bad, mate. That's not bad. 3 hours, Coventry to Newcastle, 3 hours. Yeah, if you can, I mean, driving to Scotland, if you have a stop on the way, you know, for a night, then yeah, that's a completely different kettle of fish. When I've ever done long distance, when I have driven to Scotland, or once to Spain, I always was driving with someone else where we'd take turns and do that the all-night thing and just keep going and get there. But that is quite a strain. And I was quite a lot younger when I did the Spain trip. But as soon as it gets dark, mate, I struggled. And a lot of the roads in Spain, especially back in the day, really badly lit. No white lines, and if it's raining, you can't see a thing. Oh dear, God, that was before before sat navs and all that malarkey. I think most people, sat navs they've been around a good while now, haven't they? But they've not been around as long as like mobile phones. And I drove to the south of France using my big A to Z when my girls were young. Mind you, we did have a Chrysler Voyager, which is blooming lovely, but that conked out. We did a trip to Wales once. Had to get it towed all the way home. Wasn't a member of the AA, so we paid through the nose hundreds of pounds to get it back, and it was a write-off. And we didn't get home till about 3 in the morning. We left Wales at about 11 in the morning. So yeah, so that was the end of that motor, but it was lovely. We wanted it for a trip abroad. But yeah, no sat navs then. Well, how much more relaxing would a sat nav would have been? We're going round and round to some massive roundabout in the middle of Paris or somewhere, trying to come off at the right junction. Oh dear, yeah, not good, not good. Funny, yeah, mate. Over the bridge, went to Benidorm when I was 17 with my dad. That was a good crack, as he was younger then. Oh dear. Yeah, no, there are some lovely places in Spain. One of my sisters lives in Spain. Trying to remember the actual place she lives, but yeah, near Alicante. That's it, near Alicante. I should go to Alicante Airport. One year I did go to Spain with a girlfriend, and don't know how, woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't sleep. This was like the night before I was coming home, or the day before I was coming home, and turns out the reason I couldn't sleep is because I should have been on an aeroplane on the way home, and for some stupid reason, and I wasn't the only person that looked at it, we got our AMs and our PMs mixed up on the flight tickets, and we should have been flying home at 2 in the morning the previous morning. So when we got there at 2 in the afternoon, and they said your flight went like yesterday or whatever it was. This is the first time I spent about 3 days in an airport, and it was only a little airport, so when there was no flights going out, there was nobody there apart from the cleaners, and I used to smoke then still, and we'd blown our money on the last bit of money on some food when we got there. Then when we found out we'd missed the plane and there wasn't going to be one for 3 days because it was over the weekend, just smoked myself silly on roll-ups until we finally got home. That was stressful because we had family that had driven to Spain and they'd driven all the way home, and we were still in Spain. We were meant to be home because we were getting the plane. Anyway, I digress. What's that got to do with plastering, I hear you ask? Nothing at all. But this is the community boozer, so If you can't chat about all sorts of stuff, vaguely sort of related, then dear. Yeah, because when I was younger, I always thought it might be quite nice to do some, like, get some jobs like plastering in Spain, places like that. Of course, now though there's no, but I never actually did it. But now there's no freedom of movement, so it's it's not as easy. Just used to be able, you could just go to Spain, and if there was a builder out there, or even an English builder, building villas, and you wanted to work out there for a couple of years, you could do it. Just get on a plane and go out there and do it. But you can't do that now. Bloody Brexit. But anyway, not that it's affected my life in a major way, thankfully. Fortuna, thanks, Lindsay. Yeah, Fortuna is where my sister lives. Out there. And one of me four sisters. I've got 4 sisters. Yeah, I was late to the party. That Richard, I remember when I was getting out the big AA roadmap and asking people for directions. That's it, mate. Well, that was good if you ask people for directions. I mean, most of us guys before sat-navs, you know, you get a bit of the no, I know where I'm going. And looking at a map, getting lost, and the wife or girlfriend saying, "Oh, no, pull over and ask that bloke which," and you're kind of like, no, it's all right. I know where I'm going. I don't need to ask anybody. As you continue to get lost, like, oh God, I love sat-navs. A friend of mine had one more or less when they first came out. You could afford it. They were about 500 quid when they first came out, and it was amazing to have this little box telling you to go left and go right in the right places. Fantastic. Like anything else, like the internet and like mobile phones and like sat-navs, you just get used to them and you think nothing of it. I mean, man, there was no mobile phones when I was younger. When I first had a mobile phone, I was spreading, and it was kind of like, oh, he's the plasterer with a mobile phone. He's a pucker. Got a mobile phone. That builder, plasterer, yeah. And the next minute, like, millions of kids had them as well, and it just wasn't a thing anymore. Just well, everyone's got a phone. It was a status symbol of some description. You know, if you was any kind of tradesman with a phone, a mobile phone, you know, people didn't have to just leave you a message on your tape message saver at home. But it used to be nice getting home and checking your old answer machine to see if any jobs had come in and ringing them back or whatever. That was you don't get that now. You just get interrupted in the middle of trying to spread a ceiling on your stilts, and your old phone goes off, and 9 times out of 10 it's somebody trying to sell you something as opposed to a customer. Sometimes when it is a customer, you say, I'm really sorry, but I'm actually on my stilts trying to plaster a ceiling there, and I'm under a little bit of pressure. And they go, oh yeah, no, that's fine. They just continue to talk to you for however long. Ah dear, but hey ho, it's all part of life's rich tapestry. Oh dear. Cheers. The last of me Christmas brandy. But I'm not gone bad because it's February already, so. And I think I only ever drink it now and again, and really nice to plaster. And obviously it's a lot cheaper than it will be in Edinburgh. In a pub or a bar. Oh dear. And well, that's probably why some of the guys would like to go to Ibiza, because it's the old no measures thing, isn't it? Or at least it used to be. No measures. Oh, come in our pub, come in our club, mate. No measures. Lovely. Anyway, anyone got any plastering related questions out there? American Plasterer, this is Ask the Plasterer, and you can ask me any plastering related questions, or any of the other guys or girls plastering related questions. If I don't know the answers, then they will. This is our Old Hawk and Trowel pub, or community boozer, as we like to call it, and this is where we come together for just like a bit of a chat and chill out on a Monday evening, every other Monday, from 7 o'clock till about 8:30. Speaking of which, it's 8:15 now, so we'll probably go on for about another 15 minutes, and then yeah, I did actually have something to eat tonight before I asked the plasterer, which I don't normally do. I'm normally starving hungry by the time by the time I'm done with this of an evening, but not so much tonight. I'm in very relaxed mood. Very relaxed mood. If you're tempted, you can ring me on this number up here: 07516 214 983, 07516 214 983, and have a little chat live in the pub, live in ye old Hawken Trowel. Now, let's be honest, none of the boozers in Edinburgh are going to be quite as nice as this. Some of the pictures I have seen very, very similar types of pubs, and this is the kind of pub I would like to go to when we are in Edinburgh, guys and girls. So look forward to that. I think some of the girls are going along as well, but I don't know how definite that is when the time comes. I think also doing something like this live, I don't know, helps you to try and think of things to chat about or talk about. When it comes to like going back to getting used to talking on camera to people, I kind of feel like you get this kind of especially when you're doing it live, you kind of feel like the people are there because you can see what you guys are writing up on the screen and what have you, and it's nice. And I feel like I know so many of you, but we've not yet met in the flesh. That's kind of a bit of a video romance you've had, but yeah, it'll be good when we can meet up in a proper pub and go, wow, I didn't realise you were that tall, or oh, I didn't realise you were that small. Oh yeah, you look a lot older in real life, Eric. Or possibly the opposite, who knows? Who knows? Work's picked up more now, thanks baby, yeah. Yeah, it's ticking over at the minute. But prior to that it wasn't ticking over at all, was it? Before Christmas it was very, very quiet. But yeah, I got more jobs in. So I'm very pleased to be back on my tools. Mark, I just noticed the sign, mate. I've still got my boots on. Have you not seen that before, mate? I put that there when I think you mentioned, going back at least a year, about whether or not you could wear boots in the pub. And I thought, I know. I put the no boots sign up. So Mark just come trudging in with his blooming boots covered in sand and cement, render, and dropping it all over my nice wooden floor. Because the old cleaners, they're not very happy. They have to clean stuff up like that, so I had the sign put up just to stop people taking the mickey. No string vests either, just in case. Dear. The Guinness pump, though, I'm afraid, Mark, has disappeared behind the crowd of lovely ladies and gents, plastering fraternity. I'll have to move it along the bar a little bit. It's nice having everyone there because it makes me feel more like you're here with me in the old Hawken Trowel. You didn't see the sign at first, mate. I thought you meant this one. I thought you meant the old Hawken Trowel. You hadn't seen that. I thought, flipping hell. I have to make it bigger. But no, the no boots one. But you can't come in your socks either, mate. You just got to make sure you bring a change of shoes. Or slippers. Slippers will be fine. You've just joined us, you've not been here before. I'm Eric the Plasterer, this is Ask the Plasterer. Welcome to the Old Hawken Trowel, a community boozer. You can ask any plastering related questions. I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 38 years, and the things that I don't know, the other guys do. So if I can't answer it, I'm sure they'll be able to answer it for you. If you are a potential customer, then yeah, this is a good place to come if you want to get somebody that's in your area, because we've got guys and girls all over the country, plasterers. So yeah, you can take your pick. The pickings are rich. So Mark needs some roll and stroll down for his work boots. I can't afford to be putting roll and stroll down on the floor, mate. Not in it. It's bad enough having to buy it from your customers. I just discovered why I don't generally use mesh all over the walls on all my jobs. It's quite expensive, isn't it? Oh dear. I did have a plan for a video a little while ago that someone else had suggested to me. Oh, it's to do with SBR and PVA. Thanks to Kirk. Yeah, I'm going to do a video, Lens, on there's two different types of sealer that you use before you plaster a wall, and I'm going to be testing how water soluble they are or they're not, amongst other things. Excuse me. Yeah, that'll probably be my next video. If something really exciting comes up on the plastering front. The big sealing that I did, that was one of those jobs where you really haven't got time to be filming it at the same time, not unless you want to spend an extra day there, which if you're not getting paid for, you don't really want to do. You can help it. But yeah. There'll be something in the pipeline. Anything I was going to do that I've forgotten to do? I don't think so. I'll tell what we can. Hang on. Yeah, let's have some fireworks. Yay! I've still got them on there from firework night. Yeah, Edinburgh. Woo! And for my long-suffering family and friends of mine that are on Facebook, they go, "Oh God, it's Eric again." Keeps popping up every other Monday and waffling away on his channel on Facebook. So I apologise for you, but you don't have to watch, do you? It's nice to be able to see your family and your relatives, or see me anyway. I can't see you back. I do need to change this extra time here as well to some half time. A lot of people might not know it exists. If you want to speed your plastering setup, if you're just doing one wall, get some half time, whack that in your mix. The fast set plaster, though quite a lot of guys have been using it, it just sounds like it goes off a little bit too quick for me. You've got about an hour with it, haven't you? Which I'm not so keen on. There's something else I think I have mentioned in the past, plastering wise, and because the bonding that I used to do that big sealing to level out all the bumpy bits, I put a sachet of extra time, the ordinary plaster one, finished one, in a bag of bonding. It obviously takes a little bit longer to go off, but even though you can mix it up nice and thick, hi Jason, you can mix it up nice and thick and it goes off, it stays nice and creamy right to the end. You've got a fair while to mess about with it, and because I used to find if you didn't do that, you'd start getting lumpy in the bottom, and you can bring it back a bit as well if it's got some extra time in it. So I never wait when I'm using next bonding and I've got plenty of luck. I'm going to skim over it the next day normally, so I know it's definitely gone off. I'll stick extra time in it, and you can get all your bonding on. You don't waste any whatsoever. Even if you've got twiddly bits to do, it stays nice and creamy in the tub, doesn't go lumpy in the bottom. What does extra time do? It gives you about an extra hour basically TBH on your set before it goes. So you can, a lot of guys use it so they can put more walls on I mostly use it so I don't have to work so fast to get a couple of bags on. I can do it at a more relaxed pace, and yeah, it's great stuff. It's great stuff. There's other things you can whack into plaster to try and make it go off faster or slower, but I found that using this gear, I know exactly how much to use, and it always goes off the same every time. Yeah. But yeah, and half time is if you obviously want to do a job a bit quicker. If you've only got a small area to do, you want it to go off quicker, and again that saves you about an hour. We get about an hour less than the normal time if you put half time additive in your plaster. But for newbies or people that are, you know, not been plastering that long, or if they're panicking a bit on doing something a bit larger than they used to, or they're going to do like a whole wall and they've not done a whole wall before, if you put extra time in it, you're giving yourself an extra hour. But as I tell most people, when it comes to plastering, the idea is to get it as neatly as you can, but get it on the wall or ceiling as quickly as possible, and then mess about with it. Don't put a bit on and play with it, because the rest of it will just go off in the bucket or go off too quick. You get your plaster on, you worry about getting it nice and flat and level afterwards. Well, not level, but flattened off. James, just out of interest, do you guys take hoovers on your jobs? I usually just protect floors as much as possible, so I eliminate that some plasters work differently. I have had some decent hoovers in the past, which it is nice to be able to go around with a hoover just for any other odd bits and pieces. But generally, because I cover most of my jobs wall to wall with plastic, and I tape it all around the edges, especially when you're talking carpets. And so by the time I pulled all that up, it doesn't really need a hoover, but it's always very handy to have one. Sometimes you can get a bit of powder or dust get around an edge of something, and if you've got a hoover with a tube on as well, you can get that up. It's great. It's a good addition to have, but of course it's another lump of kit on your motor, depending what else you might have in it. I mean, some guys actually take cement mixers around with them as well, but I've found since all the years I've had a refiner whisk, you can knock up sand and cement with those. So unless it was a massive rendering job, sand and cement wise, just mix it up with a mixer, with a whisk, as opposed to lugging a mixer around or onto a job. I did hire a mixer once, and I did it for so long it cost me more in the hire fee than it would have done to buy a new one. Yeah, you learn by your mistakes. It was back in the day. Yeah, I think most of the guys have got a hoover. I mean, the Henry's a good hoover to have. I just find them quite expensive for what they are. You can get industrial hoovers for work for about 70 quid, like good ones. Whereas Henry seem to be 100 quid and upwards. CBH, I heard baking soda gives it a bit longer, or is it bicarbonate of soda? I think it's bicarb of soda, but yeah, I mean, I never used to use additives. I've only been using them for the last maybe 3-4 years now, but prior to that, in all the donkey's years I've been spreading, I used to think, I'm not into all that speeding it up, slowing it down malarkey, but I am now. I love the stuff. You can muck about with bicarb of soda, but I think that's the one for slowing it down. Some guys put cement in finish and in bonding to make it go off a bit quicker. But I just find that sometimes it does and sometimes it don't, and sometimes it doesn't go off quite as fast, and sometimes it goes off really fast. But yeah, cream of tartar, yeah, Jordan, yeah, cream of tartar. But yeah, I mean, some guys use that. If you can get your measurements right and you get on with it, then, you know, more power to your elbow. But yeah, I just like the easy life, me. And I'll stick a packet of extra time in a bag of finish, and I've got an extra hour. I put half packet of half time in a bag of finish, saves me an hour. And that's where I like it. Yeah, dirty. I used to when I did. I mean, first you've got to have some dirty water, obviously. But I've used dirty water in the past, again years ago when I've done a little patch of bonding and I think I want that to go off quick. Oh, I've got some dirty water. Mixed it up with dirty water and it's gone off like a rocket. And other times, same type of dirty water. I think, oh yeah, I'll put that in the bonding, back it in, chuck it on, think that's going to be gone in a minute. Hangs around for ages. And I think, well, I used dirty water. What's gone wrong this time? So I never found that all that reliable, the old dirty water. I mean, the cream of tartar, yeah, you can mess about with, but the dirty water thing is, yeah, very not accurate. Yeah, doesn't work. It doesn't work great. Doesn't work great. Jason, Ragney trowels were used at college on block release. Base purple, fine. That should be an emoji, shouldn't it? Ragney trowels aren't that bad, mate, are they? They're not something I would use, Jason, but hey. Hello, Jamie. You just got it, mate, have you? Just had the best bucket deal ever. What was that? What PVA, mate, was that? Hang on. I don't think I'm missing anybody's titles, questions. Oh, there is. Extra time and half time, you know what it's going to do. Dirty water, cement, etc. Unpredictable. That's it, Mark. They were the words I was looking for early on, mate. Dear. Right, guys and girls, it's gone off past 8, and you must be fed up by now, and you want to. Oh, diggity, mate! I'm just signing off, mate. We just got here. What's the matter with you? It's 7 till half 8, not starts at half 8. Ain't seen you for ages as well. Ah, dear. Jordan, what about putting bonding in the first coat of multi for the first coat, going over last? Is that good practice? It's not something I've ever done, mate. I mean, some guys put a bit of bonding in with their finish when they're going over like Artex sealing, something like that. But other ways, if I'm doing an Artex sealing and I'm not balding it, I PVA it, neat PVA, let it completely dry. This is just me, I'm not saying you have to do it this way. Let it completely dry. Coat the whole thing in bonding, roll it all off. Lovely, don't take long at all, especially with a speed skim. As soon as that's picked up hard enough to put a skim on it, knock up the skim, put a skim on the top of that. Done, dusted, beautiful. Yeah, so I don't like mixing up a bit of bonding when we finish and putting one coat of that on and letting that go off. And I'm a very old school when it comes to my coats. My second coat is what's left of my first coat watered down, because I want my set to go off all at the same time. I don't want the set being slowed down by mixing a second set that I'm putting over the first set, because it's taking more time, and time is money when you're spreading, and that's the way I was taught back in the day, and that's what you used to do on sites as well. And I've done that for most of my career. When I'm second coating something, blackening coat, that is what I've got left over, watered down. It goes off, I say it goes off quicker. It don't stay watered down for long. You have to be fairly prompt at getting that second coat on, but you're using less of it anyway. You can water it down as thin as you like it to get that second coat on, and for me it's always worked a treat, and saves you probably an hour and a half or whatever, but that's me. Jason, whisk, and whisk will go off quick. Oh, I don't know, because I've heard you shouldn't whisk plaster too much, but there's been times when I've I've had my whisk going for ages and it's a bit thick, so I put more water in it and I've whisked it some more. I'm thinking it might go off rapid because of all this whisking I'm doing, pumping so much air into it, but it seems to be about the same. When I haven't used any kind of half time in bonding, because there's half time for bonding as well, which means it goes, but for that it goes up in about 20 minutes. That's great if you want to patch something up quickly and then if you've got to skim over it, then half time for bonding from Easy Mix. Lovely stuff. Whack it in and yeah, you ain't got long, but man, at least you can get the job done. You can really hang about waiting for bonding to go off. You're waiting to skim over the top of it. And normally when you are waiting, you're in a hurry. For some reason, it just seems to be like waiting for a kettle to boil. It just doesn't seem to go off. And I've had that before. A little bit of bonding I've done before. Didn't have any additives to put in it. I thought, it won't take long. Gone home for lunch, come back again, and it was still too wet. And there was only a little bit behind the radiator. But I had to skim that all afterwards, and I just couldn't do it because it just stayed soaking wet for so long. For I don't know why. I don't know why. Do you use a trowel scraper? Oh, do you use a trowel scraper to cut your scrim tape or a Stanley knife? Most of the time, I use a scraper. I've got about a 4 or 5 inch bladed scraper, and I like push it on with a scraper, and then just yeah, it's sharp enough to just cut the scrim with that. Other times I will use a Stanley knife, so it's kind of I probably use my scraper more for cutting fiberglass tape scrim than I do Stanley. If something's a bit more intricate, I use the Stanley knife, but 9 times out of 10, especially if I'm just doing the straight runs on a ceiling or whatever, run it along with my scraper and then just cut it off at the end using the scraper. You ain't got, yeah, you're putting down your knife and picking it up again and all the rest of it. Right, anyway guys, I'm overrunning and I don't want to bore you. I will see you in a fortnight's time. This will go out as a video once the live stream is finished. It'll also go out as a podcast in a couple of days' time, which you can get on Spotify, which will also have the video on it as it goes. But anywhere else you get your podcasts, you'll be able to get this along with all the others that have gone before, including interviews I've done with most of these guys over here that you can watch. And I've got one with Blaine as well. That's only audio, but it's still an interview, and it's all good stuff. So if you've not been here before and you've not seen any of that, get onto my channel and have a jump around and see what tickles your fancy. And in the meantime, this is me signing out, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys and girls in a fortnight's time on a Monday, or seeing you on my plastering forum, or seeing you on Trowel Talk and having a chat on there. And yeah, catch up with us. And oh, don't forget, Friday morning 6:30 on Trowel Talk there will be the plastering podcast. There will be me, Kirk, Alex Morley, Joel, Stuart, is that everybody? Oh, and Anthony Parry, and we will be there. If you are interested in starting your own YouTube channel and helping that grow the size of your business, then you don't want to miss out. 6:30 AM this Friday. Look forward to seeing you then, guys. Yeah, you can watch the video afterwards, but it'll sink in a lot better if you watch it live, bright and early. If we've got to do it that early, you should be watching it. Come on. Thanks for coming along tonight. It's been cool. Cheers, Jason. Cheers, Mark. Cheers, CPH. Jordan. Nice to see you. Thanks, Lindsay Lou. Diggity. Nice to see you, mate. Brief as it was. See you all soon, guys. Cheers.